Hi, everybody. Joe Chaffee here, Weather in 5 days in 5 minutes. And coming up tonight on the Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast, Tropical Storm Debbie and its forecast track up the eastern seaboard, and who's going to get what when it comes to rain. We'll talk about this and the positive payoff that will come behind this because once this goes out, the humidity levels are going to go down over the weekend and into next week. So there's that to look forward to. You can look forward to the Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast tonight at 7:35 p.m. Eastern Time. So flood watches are now going up. They're up for much of North Carolina, and it's already been raining there for the last couple of days, of course. And we have flood watches up now for most of Virginia, except the Northeast, and through central Pennsylvania. Now, it's 4 p.m. Eastern Time, so we could be seeing more updates from local National Weather Service forecast offices as they send their forecasts out. Tropical storm warnings continue along the South Carolina coast as Debbie gets ready to make landfall and then keep on going from there. Tornado watches are up in parts of the Carolinas as well. It's been another day of pounding rains. And as we check out the satellite loop here, uh, the system still has that kind of open middle here. Large area where the circulation center is, where then we don't see much convection. We're also not seeing much in the way of lightning strikes at the moment, but this is tropical air. I mean, there's a few lightning strikes going on in parts of South Carolina and into in South Carolina and North Carolina, just inland of the coast. And there's a little bit more in the way of cloud cover developing near the circulation center here, but it's so close to land, it really isn't going to have time to strengthen much. There will be some gusty winds. You can see the hooked band here on the radar as of 4:05 p.m. Eastern Time, looking at some heavy downpours and flash flood warnings. We've got rain up as far north as southeastern Virginia. There are some showers in parts of Delaware and Maryland, and even a couple of embedded thunderstorms. Also, as you continue southwest from there through Virginia, and even a few showers back over into West Virginia. There's a patch of showers in coming out of eastern Pennsylvania and moving into parts of northwest New Jersey. Small patch, and some patchy showers. There's also light rain and drizzle because of the east wind. And what a day it was for many areas in northern New Jersey, Long Island, New York City, and points north, where it didn't get out of the 60s today. And that hasn't happened since back in June. Okay, the Storm Prediction Center has a marginal and slight risk for coastal North Carolina and into parts of South Carolina for the rest of today and tonight. Also, a slight risk in the Central Plains, and the tornado risk is in North Carolina, where we're looking at a 2 to 5% risk for tornadoes. And there could be spin ups here with this tropical system moving northward up the coast. Tomorrow, it's a marginal risk for much of Virginia and North Carolina, with a slight risk indicated in southeast Virginia and in eastern North Carolina. And we're looking at a 2 to 5% tornado risk there. And for now, we have a marginal risk, New Jersey to New York City and western Long Island, just kind of poking into the Hudson Valley, eastern Pennsylvania down to Delaware, Maryland, and a small portion of eastern Virginia. You might see this get stretched out a bit when we get the new forecast update during the overnight. Now, here's the 7 day rainfall forecast from WPC, but I think this would be more useful here as we look at the tropical storm Debbie and the forecast track and the rainfall forecast. This also from WPC. And this goes back to early this morning. I'm probably going to check to see if there's an update here. Just give me a moment, because they may have done an update earlier today. Let's take a look. All right, they just kind of adjusted this a bit. So it is a bit different in terms of rainfall amounts. The blue areas are, I'm sorry, the blue areas, the green areas are, you don't want blue because that's 30 inches or more. The green areas are 2 to 4 inches. The light green is 1 to 2. along the coastal plain, I honestly don't think there's going to be a whole lot of rain here. You might have to watch out for the possibility of some thunderstorms and maybe something spinning out of those, because oftentimes in these tropical systems you can have that happen. The heavier rain is going to go in central and western Virginia, particularly in western Virginia, where they're in that 4 to 6 inch band with a few pockets of 6 to 8. And that's actually a plus because a lot of Virginia is in a drought situation, believe it or not. North Carolina, this forecast was issued, by the way, at 2:30 this afternoon. So some of this has already come down, but you put on top another 4 to 6 inches, and even in some areas of 6 to 8 inches uh, closer to the coast, on top of the rain that's already fallen. So if you're in eastern Pennsylvania, central PA, because of the track being further to the west, as I've drawn in my forecast track here for Thursday and Friday. As long as that is remains the case, and I think it's going to, I think we'll have less of a rain problem near the coast, more of a rain problem for areas further inland. And when we look at WPC's forecast for flash flooding, this is for Friday into Saturday morning. They have a moderate risk of flash flooding Vermont, much of upstate New York, and in through central Pennsylvania and western Maryland. Slight risk goes a little bit further east to about eastern central Massachusetts, central Connecticut to about New York City, western Long Island, cutting down through New Jersey, and then heading south into Virginia and North Carolina. I'm going to just go backwards on this. For tomorrow, we have a moderate to high risk for tomorrow in North Carolina, and that extends up into Western Virginia, and we've got marginal risk that's pushed up all the way into Vermont, New Hampshire. I don't know that there's going to be a whole lot with respect to rain for tomorrow, but we'll see how that plays out. So as we check out the latest GFS, which has finally kind of got on board with what everybody else has been doing, it's not squirrely like it's been earlier this week. Debbie comes inland. In the meantime, after that front that came through yesterday and last night, we had that east wind. Today, we're going to have it tomorrow, east or maybe even east southeast with time. Again, I don't see a lot going on the northern fringe of this, but you see the heavier rains across uh, interior South and North Carolina and into Virginia during the day on Friday. So we'll see deteriorating weather conditions on Friday as the winds go south southeast. Might get a little gusty along the coast. I'm not expecting anything spectacular here. The heavy rains go through western Virginia, central Pennsylvania, and upstate New York. And it should be mostly done by Saturday morning. And we'll see improving weather conditions during the day on Saturday. There might be a little bit of leftover rain in coastal New England Saturday morning, but improving weather conditions during the day. Dew points are going to be coming down, which is great. I think we'll have developing sunshine on Saturday, particularly in the afternoon, and a pretty decent day for Sunday. Temperatures will be back up into let's call them lower 80s, and dew points are going to be very, very pleasant indeed. And I think we actually could hold on to those low dew points as a little reinforcing front that comes through on Tuesday with a couple of showers and another little push of dry air that follows that for Wednesday, Thursday, and maybe even into Friday of next week. So sometimes, if you're after a tropical system goes by, sometimes good things happen. So we'll see how this plays. We'll be on the Joe and Joe Weather Show tonight at 7:35 p.m. Eastern Time, updating everything. We'll see you then.